Hi, everybody. Catherine here, Hood here, or some of you may know me as Coach Catherine. This is our weekly live. Every Thursday, I talk about a topic surrounding diabetes, type 2 diabetes more specifically. So, those of you that are newly diagnosed as a pre diabetic or a type 2 diabetic, this topic, this time, this part of the week is usually more aimed towards you, this audience. So I enjoy this topic very much. It's actually near and dear to my heart. I've been insulin dependent. I know what it's like to be confused, frustrated with your own body and how it responds to the different things that we go through on a daily basis. I've been to the grocery store and confused, frustrated, angry, and cried at the end of a grocery aisle. I've been to a nutritionist and left even more confused than when I went in. I've been frustrated with doctors, been told one thing, then told another thing, and found other things on research, and just been terribly, terribly confused. But I hope today's topic will hopefully help you in some way. If you know someone that's recently diagnosed as a pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic, please share this video with them. If you are new to this video should be of some use, I hope. If there's something more that you would like me to expand on and talk more about that's in this video, or want me to talk about a certain topic, please don't hesitate to let me know. Just message me or comment below. So let's begin. First off, it's really, really important to keep a journal detailing your unique blood sugar, detailing your stress levels. Your stress levels really have a huge impact on blood sugar levels. Your infections or sores, even just small cuts from washing the dishes or things around the house, really watch them as they heal or not heal. Address them right away. Don't be tough and go weeks and months with a sore or a cut that's not addressed. Hydration is really, really key. I've had clients in the past that really that was their only major needle mover. Like they were doing everything else to a T, but that hydration was the big hurdle. You also need to keep a journal on what you're eating, fully being transparent. I know this seems like a lot of work, but it really, after you do it for a while and really understand your body, you can really back off on it. But knowing what you eat, you don't have to measure everything perfectly, but having a general idea. I use my hand as a measuring tool, like the size of the fist, the size of the palm of my hand, or a finger. Or a tip of a finger is another way to do it. But keep it simple, something that you can easily eyeball to give you a good idea, but how you're feeling on the daily basis too. So this journal really can just be heartfelt in how you're feeling. The feeling is a huge factor in this. The more frustrated you are, the more angry, the more stress you're putting on your body, most likely those blood sugar levels are not going to be stable. Your quality of sleep and quantity of sleep is huge. And so underrated. I think, it's something free, it's something that we can do, something that we all can improve on. But quantity and quality of sleep, two separate categories. You want to look for patterns in your blood sugar levels. And you want to review this with your doctor or your medical professionals that are helping you. Remember, we all should have a tribe helping us with our own unique body and our own unique needs. It is also really advisable to invest in a continuous glucose meter, whether your insurance company pays for it or not. Invest in a continuous glucose meter. Hopefully it's temporary once you get these things figured out and sorted out. What is your major needle mover? You could probably move back to a normal meter. But for anybody new or having these unexplained highs and lows and and feeling awful, get a continuous glucose meter. I can't stress that enough. It's incredibly useful at finding those swings faster, quicker, and what is causing the stress. Excuse me. I had a client as well that she did this. She got the continuous glucose meter, and she was noticing her major swings were when she got up early and she had a really stressful job. So both those things compounded were sending her levels through the roof in the morning, and it really had no impact on what she was eating or anything else. It was the stress and the shortened sleep. So that was something that she had to focus on and improve. False hypoglycemia is a feeling of panic and sweating, hormonal reaction, because your body is saying, this seems like something is wrong because I am not used to this. So this would happen if you're having, if you are trying to change your lifestyle, you are making all these changes, these new levels where you're either dropping too fast, too suddenly, any of these major needle movers where your blood sugars are shifting and changing at a rapid pace, you're going to feel gross. You're going to feel yucky. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel nauseated. You're going to feel lethargic. These weird feelings. I see it all the time in the groups and threads that I'm in. You know, when they finally are making these changes or adjustments in their life, you might be feeling really yucky, but you check your blood sugar levels and maybe they're like 140 or 150 or 170, you know, something that maybe your body's not used to. You aren't going to feel well at the beginning. And remember, as I say these numbers, anything over 140 is causing damage to your body. So we definitely don't want to be in the 140 and above. But if you have been for a long time soaring in the 200 range and now you're moving the needle down, you aren't going to feel good at first, and it takes a while to adapt and change. So it's kind of something that I see really frequent, and I wanted to address that. But know that everybody's different. Absolutely everybody's different. Not two people are the exact same. So what I can eat is going to differ from what you can eat drastically and from the next person. For me personally, I find eating meals that are built mostly of a lean protein plus a veggie or a berry works best for me. That's what works really incredible. If I have any kind of carbohydrates, they need to be small, and I have to pair it up with a lean protein. But that's me. You know, that might be completely different for you. You need to use your meter. You know, eat to your meter, test with your meter. If you don't have a continuous glucose meter, make sure you test before you take your first bite. Test it before you take your first bite. Excuse me. Set an alarm for 1 hour from that first bite. And if you have a swing 20 points or higher, then there needs to be an adjustment, or that combination of food or that particular food your body's not responding well to, and you need to make an adjustment or avoid that food. But protein to me is kind of the magic food. I'm allowed to have, most anything as long as it's a decent 4 to 6 ounces of protein. It basically levels it out. I have a little frog in my throat today. Our bodies are complex and adapt to everything we throw at it. That's everything, anything from, the amount of stress or the amount of sun or the amount of water or whatever we do in our lives. Our body is meant to and designed to adapt. So same thing goes with eating certain foods. You might figure it out. You finally got it all figured out. And 3 to 6 months later, your body says, nope, just kidding, you don't have it figured out. So just because you do finally get it figured out and you do get your blood sugars controlled and you kind of like get going along and you take that continuous glucose meter off, it doesn't mean put the meters away and you're smooth sailing, you can live as normal. You still need to keep that meter on hand. You need to keep strips that are not expired too. That's another big thing that I've noticed. A lot of people are like, I don't understand. Like every time I test my blood sugar levels, they're so drastically different. You might want to check your strips. They might be expired. But everybody's unique body changes, shifts, adapts. We all respond differently to foods. Temperature too, again, kind of that 3 to 6 month change. Your environment might change. The seasons might change. So that might send your blood sugar levels in another loop. Okay. So drinking water and other things is another category. So you want to stick to water. I know that water is not sexy, and some of you are probably like, I've only drank soda for the last 20 years, but water is the way to go. Make sure you test your water, do the research, know what is in your water, especially if you're getting city water. Filter it. Can't say that enough. But you're needing to get water, hydrating yourself. Make sure you know what that means for you. We are hardwired. And our thoughts and our feelings and how we feel and relate to things are definitely hardwired into us, and it takes a while to change this. But if your thoughts are, I hate water, I hate water, I hate the way it tastes, I hate the way it smells. You're going to have to change that thought. Once you change your thoughts around water, water is survival. I need water for my body. I love water. Water hydrates me. Water makes me feel good. Removing those negative thoughts, you will gravitate naturally towards drinking more water and have a more positive feeling towards that. So anything that you don't want in your life, you need to have a negative thought towards, like soda. Soda's bad for me. Soda causes my joints to hurt. Soda causes me to have aches and pains. Soda gives me headaches. So turning it around, putting some positive thoughts towards water is key. But you need to change the thoughts in order to change the action. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to cut soda cold turkey and sit there and fantasize and think about soda in every day. But that won't work. You'll crash and burn. That's why a lot of diets don't work, is because the thought work is not figured out first. The thought work is what I love to do with my clients. I like to reprogram how they think about things, whether that be water or their diabetes. But once you clear up those thoughts to positive thoughts, then everything else falls into place. So not sure why your blood sugars are so high. Well, it's often assumed that it's all about food, right? That's kind of the stigma. That's what people think. They judge us on what we're eating. Should you be eating that? We've had that conversation before. But diabetes is so much more complicated than food. It's not all about food. Again, you could be doing that perfectly, and it could be something completely different. It's extremely complex. I joke about it being your eye color. It's not, but it is very complex. Some of the factors that I have written down here is, your body fat percentage can have an impact. The amount of visceral fat, the fat that's around your organs. You've seen that body type where they have, really tiny legs and tiny arms, but then they have this really big belly. Oftentimes it's because they have a lot of visceral fat around their organs. Hydration, kind of mentioned that. Whether you're male or female, your age, the health of your pancreas, how have you run it into the ground, your life, or is it still really healthy? Your liver health, your kidney health, your stress levels, your hormones, again, kind of going back to your gender or your sex, but also menopause or other factors. But hormones are something you really need to make sure you're testing to with your doctor. I think I mentioned that later in my notes, but that's a huge factor. Hormones play a huge role in your blood sugars. If you're being really honest with what you're eating, and I'm not even joking with that, like none of this sneaking and hiding and nibbling on foods that you shouldn't be, or snacking on foods you shouldn't be. You're eating regular small meals. You're testing your blood sugar before the first bite and an hour later, or have the continuous meter, which I recommend. You're hydrating. I always recommend a gallon a day spread throughout the day, but never more than 30 ounces in an hour. I know that sounds complicated, but it's really not. When you first wake up, make sure you just get 16 to 20 ounces right away, because you're dehydrated and you actually feel really good. It's almost like a cup of coffee. It energizes you because your brain needs that fluid, because you basically have been fasting all night long. But if you do 16 to 20 ounces every 2.5 hours, 3 hours, you're good to go. If you're working on lowering your stress every day, like you carve out time, you intentionally have time. I highly recommend in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. That's really great. And it doesn't have to be a long time. If you have a very, very stressful job, it may need to be longer than if you don't have nearly the chronic stress, and it could be shorter. But are you doing things every day to lower your stress? If you feel that tension in your shoulders and your neck and you're getting these headaches, are you intentionally going and relieving yourself of that stress? If you start noticing with your journals that your blood sugars are spiking from some sort of source of stress, are you removing that stress out of your life? That could be people, that could be places, that could be things. What's triggering this stress? If you're not ridding your body of that, your blood sugars are going to be all over through the roof, all over the place, and uncontrollably, and you're going to be frustrated with the food, but it's not the food, it's the stress. So next, can you, and again, changing your thoughts, thinking about positive thoughts about your diabetes instead of negative. That's huge, because if you have a negative mindset about it, that's more stress on your body, it's more stress on your mind. So when you have negative thoughts about that, then it creates negative action or non-action, because you have a negative outlook on it. Self-care, kind of the same thing about lowering stress, but self-care is really important, taking care of your hygiene, and relaxing, learning how to implement this every day. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time. It's just making that time, putting a space in your calendar to do these things and do it, honor it, show up for yourself, learning how to relax. Are you doing something fun every day? Really, seriously, what are your hobbies? What are your passions? What do you like to do? What can you get lost in for 20, 30 minutes? Whether that be a jigsaw puzzle or Sudoku, or I try to say things without technology and obviously without food. But what is it that you do that's fun? And that could be playing with an animal or playing with a grandkid. Do something that is fun. Life is short and we need more fun in our life. Are you laughing every day? I always say, when you laugh, when you take notice and you're like, hey, I'm laughing, laugh harder, laugh longer, laugh deeper. It burns calories and it's so good for you. It releases a lot of happy hormones and it's so good. It shields you away from depression and sadness and anxiety. And again, it has a huge, huge impact on your blood sugar levels. If you have sores, infections, cuts, I talked about this earlier, but resolve them, especially in your mouth or around your feet. Don't let those things fester. Don't let them get worse. Address them right away. If they're not healing and your blood sugars are out of control, it's going to get worse. These things just compound one another. And ultimately, we want you to keep all your limbs and your body parts. Hormones, get them checked every year. I do. And use a natural method to get your hormones leveled out, whatever that is, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, anything. Make sure to use a natural method to remedy it. But when you start on some sort of hormonal therapy, it has to be checked. You have to get these things checked and make sure you're leveling them off and getting them appropriately lined out. You'll feel so much better. When you feel better, then your blood sugars level out as well. Temperature of your house, temperature of your room. If you don't have air conditioning and you live in a hot environment, that's a huge problem. That will skyrocket your blood sugar levels. Same thing with cold. You need to make sure that your environment where you are is a decent temperature. Same with freezing. You can't get too cold. You can't get too hot. It's so, so valuable and so important. And don't get sunburn. That's really, really bad for anyone with type 2 diabetes. Sleep, no exceptions. I don't even care. Don't stop complaining. Stop making excuses. You need 8 hours of sleep. You need it consistently every single day. I don't care if it's a weekend. I don't care if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. It doesn't matter. Go to bed. Be horizontal. No TV, no technology for that 8 hours. You can read. You can doodle. You can write. You can lay in that bed, meditate, learn how to sleep, and stay horizontal for 8 hours. Yes, you can get up and go to the bathroom, but don't, without exceptions, 8 hours. You need that to heal and recover your body. Feeling sad, lonely, isolated, that's not good. We need connection. We need connection with other human beings. Reconnect with old friends. Build new friendships. You don't have to have a whole bunch. It doesn't need to be, you can be introverted and have a couple of friends, but we need connection with others. It's scientific fact. It's been proven over and over and over and over again. We need connection with others. And I'm not talking about on virtual, it's actual human connection in person. Meet other people. We're starting to hopefully get out of COVID, so you need to join other groups, meet other people, connect with other people. Indigestion is a huge one. If you're not digesting your food properly, your body is not processing the food properly, that's going to also have a huge impact on your blood sugar levels. Why? Because your body's probably pushing foods out your body really fast, really rapidly, or building up gas, bloat, diarrhea, whatever, constipation. All these things are a sign that you're not digesting food properly. You're not assimilating it, meaning you're not absorbing the micronutrients and nutrients that you need to heal and recover and keep your body healthy. So again, that's another food sensitivity test, another blood work, and it's most likely not covered by your insurance. Why? They don't want you to discover what's wrong with your body. They want you to just run it into the ground. They would rather that. So get a food sensitivity test. They're not cheap, but they're worth it. And I'm going to tell you, more often than not, there's things on that list that you love. And the reality is you've got to get them out of your diet because it's just destroying your digestion tract. You don't want to have a colonoscopy bag, I promise you. And you need to take care of that, address that, remove these foods from your home, get them out of your house. It's most likely dairy and gluten. These are the two top ones that you need to remove. But eating slower is another thing that will help with your digestion. Set a timer. How fast are you eating? Are you scarfing down your food? It's not good. It's not healthy. It's definitely going to shoot your blood sugars through the roof because your body is having to work harder. It's more stress on your body to break down that food. And you're not assimilating it properly. But get your gut health checked too. Make sure you have the right biome, the right healthy bacteria in your digestive tract. That again helps break down that food properly and assimilate it, and help prevent added stress. Moving your body 150 minutes a week, I don't care what it is, whether you're walking, you're jogging, exercising traditionally, or something. Move your body 150 minutes a week. Find a way to block out that time and do it. Split it up however you need to. But sitting more than 45 minutes at a shot creates insulin resistance. So set a timer, get your ass out of the chair every 45 minutes at least, and do some sort of movement. But yeah, 45 minutes or more creates insulin resistance. So if you have a sitting down job and you're like, I can't get up, Catherine, they don't let me get up, but every like 3 hours, you need a different job. You need to do something. You at least get up out of your chair or get a desk that goes up and down. This desk is actually that. I go up and down, depending on the point in time, whatever I'm doing. All my lives I'm standing that I know of, probably not my old ones, but because I didn't have this. But I love this. I got it on Amazon, probably $100, but I didn't like it at first, but I love it now. But yes, get up and move. Standing is fine. Are you going poop once a day? I'm telling you, we can talk about poop. It's fine. It's what we need to do on a daily basis. If you're constipated, if it's not a smooth sausage shape poop every day, at least once, hopefully twice, then something's going on with your digestion. Again, get your food sensitivity tested. You might be deficient in magnesium, so that's something you would take at night. Don't take magnesium any other time, but also make sure you can take it. Ask your doctor, ask your pharmacist, because it can have adverse effects with some prescriptions out there, especially around diabetes. So double, triple check, make sure, ask. Otherwise, just sprinkling fiber on your food all day, every single meal, just sprinkle a little bit of fiber on there. But I love magnesium personally, but I have to take it at night because it does make you a little tired, but it's really good for your muscles and it's really good for women. But check with your doctor, check with your pharmacist. No alcohol, people. Cut out the alcohol. You don't need it. It's extra calories. It also sends your blood sugar all over the place, especially at night. Sugar, freaking get rid of it. Remove it from your house. Get the red bag monk fruit sweetener. Sugar, I like the powdered kind, getting away from the sugar alcohols. That's the one that I use, and it has that same consistency as sugar. It is sweeter than sugar, so be very sparing with it. Cut back on caffeine or remove it completely. You don't need it. Something that I find that works for me really well is because I have berries once or twice a day. It's like a boost, and it's almost like having caffeine. In fact, I always make sure, I've noticed this week, I actually brought it to my daughter's attention, was having berries before I work out, along with a little bit of protein, really makes it's like a pre-workout for me. So I've been moving that meal to where I can have it right before I work out. So my little tip for the week. Birth control definitely can throw off your blood sugars, so maybe that's something you might need to shift or change. Antibiotics or other medications can really throw your blood sugars all over the place. So talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist, see if there's something else you can do, or hopefully it's just temporary. Smoking, obviously, quit smoking. And my last note was sunburns, but I already talked about that. So I hope this was helpful. I definitely went over my 15 minutes that I tried to make these for you guys, but I felt like these were all tips and things that, could be impacting your blood sugar levels. Again, it's so complicated. It's not just easy. It's not a one size fits all. There's not a food plan that works for everybody. It's about learning your unique body. It's about understanding, becoming aware, and learning how this process works. But know that I'm here for you if you need me, want support, want accountability, want help. I have a wellness app. I have lots of tools and lots of things that do work for people with diabetes. Let me know. Reach out to me. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.